Tutorial number 6, Point Edit Functions. In this tutorial, you will use some of the commands from the Points menu to change the shape of your sloper. If you need to, start PatternMaker and open the back sloper pattern that we created in Tutorial 3 and modified in Tutorial 5. Close out of this slide. And here I already have my back open. Open yours. You should see the sloper object, the horizontal waistline that we had drawn, and the box around them. If you don't see all of this in your screen, push the N button to put them in view. Remember that you drew these objects by entering the points or vertices that make them up. Let's use the points on/off function to look at these again. Use your F5 key. A number of X's will appear all over the drawings. These are the locations of the vertices. First, we're going to move a vertex by giving the sloper a deeper neckline. Select the Points menu up here at the top and select the Move Vertex function. And over here you'll notice it says Move Vertex, and in our command window down below it's telling us to select a point. Selecting points is much like selecting objects. You want to move the point where the neckline meets the center back line. This is at the upper left of the sloper at coordinates 1 and 24.75. Put the mouse cursor on this point and click the left mouse button. The X at this point changes from white to red. Well, it should have changed to red. There it is. I guess I need to get right on that. Now, much like with the move function for objects, you will be prompted to select more points until you press the escape key or click the right mouse button. We only want to move one point, so let's select our escape key and select Done Selecting. Now, just like the move function for objects, you need to select a base point and a destination. Let's make the neckline 3/4 inch deeper by moving this point from its present location at 1:24.75 to the grid point of 1:24. Turn on Snap to End Point. That is Control and F3, holding those at the same time. It is a quick one to put us into the Snap to Grid. Now, and then select the same point you're moving. Make sure the X appears indicating that you have a snap point. See how it jumps around to snap to points on the grid, or I'm sorry, endpoints. Okay. Make sure the X appears indicating that you have a snap point. Since the vertex is already marked with a colored X, the X indicating the snap point will not be yellow, but it will be obvious you have a snap point. Select vertex at center back neckline. Try moving the mouse around. You will see that the point you selected moves while the rest of the object stays still. Now, to put this point on the grid point, select Snap to Grid. That's going to be Control F2 for our function. And that way it snaps to the grid points. If the grid was not already on, it would automatically come on screen as well. Now, to put this point on the grid point, we did Snap to Grid, and select the point with the mouse. Refer to the mouse coordinates in the status bar up above. See right up here? Well, it moves because I moved the cursor, but when it is 1:24, we can either click Enter or left click with the mouse, either one. Now, to get out of snap mode, use Control F1. Let's change the shape of an arc. You will notice that you have just spoiled the curve of the neckline. You will also notice that there is an X just to the right of the point you just moved, which doesn't seem to be connected to the drawing. This is the corner point of the arc. It controls the shape of the arc. You can fix the neckline by moving this point. I'm actually going to go ahead and zoom in in this area. That was too. We do. I want to zoom in up here so we can see these X's again. All right, so this is the arc corner that we want to change. Now we can repeat the move vertex command. It's still already live in our window here. We just need to initiate it. And click on the arc corner point to select it. Go. See how it is red. Click escape or right click, say done selecting. Now we need to set our base point, so a single click, and then we can start to pull, and you can see that we're going to sort of reshape the arc. It's usually best to reshape arcs by viewing it by the eye, so don't worry about using any snap points in this. Now, when you move the mouse, the shape of the neckline changes. Move it until the neckline takes on a reasonable shape. When the neckline is right, the corner point should be almost level or horizontal with the point you moved previously. Since the corner point, the end point of the arc, and the point below that one form a right angle, the neckline forms a square corner where it meets the center back line. This is important to remember, so we will repeat. The angle from the corner point to the end of the arc to the point after that is the angle at which the end of the arc meets the next line. Get over, and there we go. When you are satisfied with the neckline, click the left mouse button. There we go. Now, the next part of this goes into a selection window. Let's try this out. You may have wondered about the prompt you saw earlier that said select point W for selection window. Well, actually we did not get that one, and I don't know if it's because this is a newer version than what the manual was written for, or if this was for a this being a demo doesn't actually act just like the purchased program. So this allows a window or a rectangle that's entered the same way you drew a rectangle in tutorial 1. Clicking with the mouse to enter one corner, move the mouse, then click around again to enter the opposite corner. The rectangle should contain all 4 of the extra points near the waistline. All right, let's back up and see if we can get that. Okay, we're going to move vertices. So down here, let's see, vertex. Select a point. Selection when done. All right, so we're not getting a prompt down here that says W for selection window, but we have lots of extra points down here. It still doesn't say anything about the window. I'm going to probably not go into that just right now. You can also zoom in on things. I'm going to cancel my command here. All right. Now there's other commands in the points menu. If you read the appropriate manual sections for the details on how they work. Briefly, here is what they do. Let's just take a look at that pull-down menu real quick. You can add a vertex to any object. For example, you could change a triangle to a rectangle. Delete vertex removes one or more vertices. Move vertex moves one or more vertices. Rotate vertex rotates one or more vertices. Delete segment removes one line segment from an object. This will change a closed object to an open object and can cut an open object into 2 objects. The corner vertex converts one or more arcs to straight lines and corners, and the round vertex converts one or more straight lines and corners to arcs. Those are handy for the rounded ones, make nice rounded corners for pockets. Align X aligns two or more points on the X horizontal direction. The first point you select is the reference point. The other points will be moved to align with it. And the same goes for the Y coordinates, but that is the vertical direction. Set measure distance measures the distance along a curve or a section of an object. If you type in a new distance, the curve or section will be adjusted to the length you entered. When you are done experimenting, you are done with this tutorial. Exit PatternMaker and don't save your last changes. Alright, so in this one, if you closed out and it asks to save, just click no. No change there. Alright, thank you very much. Have fun experimenting.